Hello, you're watching Campus France Live. Thanks a lot to be there with us today to talk about higher education in France and to discover ECE engineering school. So if you want to study in an engineering school with English programs, you're at the right place and you can begin to ask all the questions that you have about the school and about the different programs that we are going to discover with you. Gérard, Reus, hello.
Hello.
Thanks a lot to be there with us. You're the Associate Dean of Specialized Programs. We're also with Barbaric, hello.
Hello.
You're Head of International Relations. Gérard, Jabir, hello.
Hello.
Student in Data Engineering Master's degree, and we are online with Maud Lebars, hello.
Hello.
You're the admission manager of the school. First of all, Gérard, can you introduce ECE Engineering School in a few words?
Yes, of course. ECE Engineering School is a school created in 1919. It's a century, almost a century before. It's a school very focused on digital engineering and technology. The school welcomes each year almost 4,000 students. It's a huge school. It's a part of Omnes Education Group, a very huge education groups in Europe. And we have many activities and many domains in technological fields.
And do you have one campus or different campuses?
Yes, we have one main campus in Paris and four campuses around in France. It's Bordeaux, Lyon, Rennes, and perhaps next in September we open Marseille, the south of France.
So it's a lot of different places to study engineering in France, and you have English programs. Can you tell us what are the different programs that the people watching us today can follow in English?
Yes, we have two main programs. One program is focused and very focused for international students is MSc Master of Science program. And another program is first program, original program at school is a Master in Digital Engineering program. Is a program both accredited by two company or two accreditation company. Is the first Master of Science label of Conférence des Grandes Écoles, Master of Science, very focused on international fields. And the Master in Digital Engineering is accredited by the CTI, la Commission des titres d'ingénieur.
And we're going to know more about these different programs, but before that we have a quick video to discover ECE Engineering School, and we will be back just after that.
I have listened to you. I have learned from you. And you've made me a better president. It doesn't matter who you are.
The equation E is equal mc squared.
It's one small step for man, one giant leap for mankind.
Or where you come from. Or what you look like. Or where you love.
Man's age-old dream of flight becomes a reality.
It doesn't matter whether you're black or white, or Hispanic, or Asian, or Native American, or young or old, or rich or poor, able, disabled, gay or straight, you can make it.
Changing the world with ECE, that's the idea. You were talking about two programs, the MSc and the Master in Digital Engineering. For the MSc, do you offer different fields, specialization? How does it work, or is it one MSc?
No, it's many fields and the three topics fields we provide today is one in data and artificial intelligence, the first field. Second field is in cyber security management. And the third is in sustainable energy futures. And the three main fields, and perhaps we can talk about other fields we will provide next year and follow years, and in product engineering and in entrepreneurship.
Okay, so there are many fields, and we're going to talk after that about the background that you need. But before that, Gérard, can you tell us a few words about you? Where are you from? Why did you decide to join ECE in the engineering master's degree?
Yes, of course. I'm originally from Morocco, but I studied in the United States, where I got my bachelor's degree in computer science. And right now I'm a first-year master's student in the data management and artificial intelligence program. I really liked ECE because it focused on the technical classes, but also the classes that they offered also helped us develop our soft skills, which is really important to me just going to the professional world. And the program being in English was really interesting to me because it opens up a lot of international opportunities.
Why was it interesting for you? You were studying in the US and you decided to come to France to study an international and English program. Why was it interesting for you to be in France to study?
It was the curriculum that I found. It was exactly the two subjects that I was really looking for, whether it's data management and artificial intelligence. And also, I really liked that the program was in English again.
So that was interesting for you. Gérard, how would you describe the teaching methods? French is really well known in the world for the theory and the math and the way the students are good in math, but do you have a balance between theoretical and practical classes? How does it work in your different programs?
And you have a program and the academic courses first, because you have an engineering school, we need academic fields like science and science for engineering first, but we are very focused on practical workshops, seminars, and we have also a FabLab for makers, and we are focused on the relationship between companies and students, and we organize many workshops, meetup with company, and of course with the alumni network with huge. We have more than 15,000 alumni from ECE.
So the idea is really to have a view from the professional world during the studies, not only to stay in the academical point of view.
Yes, it is both a balance between academic and professional fields.
Maybe in Gérard, can you describe some classes that you are following in your program? What do you do concretely?
Yes, for example, right now I'm following a machine learning class, which is one of my favorite subjects there. We learn how to handle data, and we teach the machine to predict, to make predictions based on the data. And I think it's really interesting because it really represents our daily life. Everything is influenced by machine learning, and I think it will shape our future.
You were talking, Gérard, Reus, about the different MSCs and the different specialization, data, IA, cybersecurity and sustainable energy. How does it work? It's 1 year, 2 year programs, and are you really specialized from the beginning in the MSCs?
Yes, because we access the MSc with a bachelor, a postgraduate, and we are specialized at the beginning, because you will need professional student and professional in the specialized fields. For example, in data and artificial intelligence, we practice a lot. We are very focused on practice and on the topics, and very deeper on the topics directly at the beginning of the first year.
It's 2 years after the bachelor?
It's 2 years after bachelor. You can access the first year, but if you have an experience, a master, and an experience, professional experience, you can access also the second year.
And what are the differences between the MSc programs and the Master in Digital Engineering?
Yes, Master in Digital Engineering you can access after a bachelor, and you access at the third year. It's longer, it's more academic than MSc. MSc is very oriented in professional field.
So if you are not really sure about the field you want to study in, if you want to still discover a lot of them, the Master in Digital Engineering is maybe more interesting.
Yeah, it's more interesting if you want to choose 1 year after 1 year at school, your specialization.
Let's talk now about the different admission process with you, Maud Lebars. Thanks a lot to be there with us. Can you explain first of all, can you explain what is the background to apply to the different programs that we're talking about?
So obviously you need to be relevant to the kind of studies you're going to go for. I mean, for data, for instance, you need to be strong in maths. For sustainable energies futures, it's generally important to be versed into physics or chemistry, because this is part of the content. So these are elements that are important. You need to be a first division student. You need to be decently good in English. So here, if you're coming from an English-speaking place, and I mean by that, for instance, if you're from India, where it's the second country in the world for the number of people who speak English, it depends on the board that you've done in 12th, then we won't be requiring an IELTS if you were, did all your studies from childhood onwards in English, obviously. But if it's not the case, then we'll ask for an IELTS. But really, we have a holistic view on profiles. So it's academics as well as everything else, obviously. There will be an interview. You'll have time to discuss with the program manager for 30 minutes. So it's quite, a decent time to look into the details of what you've done so far and why you should choose to do this program. There are pathways in MSc directly into the second year of the program. But obviously, we'll be very, very careful that you have been, having the right content in your past studies to be allowed directly into second year, because there are, elements that are important to know.
As the Master of Science, the MSCs are really specialized. Is it important to already have a good view on what we want to do after graduating? Is it the kind of questions that you can ask for the MSc admission?
Yes, I think it can make the difference between an average and a very good student, and it's going to have a big impact on how successful you're going to be straight on. But I want to emphasize that 98% of our students have a job before graduating. So I think we really are preparing them very well. But it's going to help, of course, to be well focused, and it would also allow us to understand whether you know where you're going to, because data science, for instance, require to be ready to spend hours doing algorithm and things like that, and you better love this kind of things in the first place and not do it just because you think it's the fashion.
During the process for the interview, do you ask some technical questions to the student? Do they have to prepare to maybe talk about math or talk about AI, or to show the knowledge that they have, or the different interviews are really focused on their motivations?
I think it's a mix of both. I mean, it depends on what you shared with us in terms of documents, and the professors are there to really assess whether you have the right background, academic background, to follow the program. So it could be there could be a few questions that are technical, but we are not here to trick students. We are really there to make sure that whoever is entering the program has a chance to succeed in there and has a chance to grow thanks to the program.
Gérard, you have students coming from all over the world. What is your ideal profile for an international student? What do you like to have in the cohort of students?
Of course, we welcome students from everywhere. First, it's a mix of multicultural cohort. We like students who have a good professional project and very clear and good motivation to study thesis engineering school. And of course, they like the topics, and say in Gérard likes machine learning, and they are motivated by the technical topics. And they have a good idea of what they want to do after their MSc.
How did the application process go for you in Gérard? What is your memories? What are your memories from this period?
So the whole application process was online. I had to submit all the required documents like transcripts, recommendation letters. And then I had an email inviting me to an interview. I prepared for the interview and it went really well. And after that, I got my offer.
Okay, so that's really smooth when you're talking, but did you have some fears, some stress, or did you feel really comfortable thanks to the help of the administration?
I honestly felt really comfortable and the interview went really smoothly. I felt at ease and everything went well.
Okay, that's something good to hear. Maud, for the people watching us today, what is the calendar? What are the different dates to apply?
So you're very welcome to start applying now. You have until end of June to do so, but the earlier the better, especially when you have to consider to go through a visa process. The start of the course is generally in the early part of September. So yes, you have to think of those elements when planning.
Thanks a lot, Maud.
So as soon as possible, but you have time.
Thanks for all this information. Stay with us. We might have other questions for you, but before that, Anna Barbaric, hi again, you're head of international relations. After being admitted, there is another important step, is all the visa procedure with Campus France. How do you help the students with all the steps to come to France?
Well, we have an international admissions office and a welcome desk officer that accompany our students in the whole process, whether it be all administrative procedures regarding housing accommodation, regarding like different visa procedures, and all the like practical advice and guidance we can give to students before they come to Paris.
And do you help them, for instance, for all the housing steps to find a place to live in Paris or in the other campuses?
Yes, we have different partnerships with different accommodation providers. For instance, private student residences. So students can choose between a wide variety of accommodation providers, whether it be a student residence or shared accommodation or even with a host family.
And how do you help them to feel integrated? Because it's something really important. They're sometimes coming from all over the world. They don't have a previous international experience. How do you help them to feel part of the school and part of the cities they're studying in?
Yes, well, we want them to feel welcomed as of the beginning of the first step when they apply, and especially when they come to Paris in France, because we know that they're moving to another country. So what we do is where we accompany them and we organize a welcome week with different activities during the week. We also put them in contact with our association called the ECE International Association and we provide them with each student with the buddies, which can then accompany them when they come to France with different procedures, like, for instance, opening a bank account, or sometimes they even come to pick them up on the airport, so they feel less alone when they come to a new country.
And how do you promote student life on campus?
Well, student life is very dynamic at our campus. We have a wide variety of student clubs, and each Thursday, for instance, Thursday afternoon, it's a time that we dedicate to all the student activities. So students can choose between different clubs. It can be like food, robotics, international club. Based on your interest, you can choose whatever you want to do. We are proud of this project because actually it allows students to develop soft skills, which is really important when you start working.
And there is another important point, it's housing. Do you have housing on campus, or do you help students to find opportunities and places?
We don't have a housing itself on the campus because the campus is situated in the heart of Paris, just a few minute walk from Eiffel Tower. However, we do have a wide variety of student accommodation partners. So students can find an accommodation within a student's residence or even with a host family, or if they wish, they can share an apartment.
We're now going to talk about the professional integration in the professional world during and after the studies. How many internship periods is it possible to have, Gérard, during the different programs?
Especially in MSc, Master of Science program, we have 2 internships. The first year is internship, 4 months internship optional, but this is you propose that students follow this internship. It's a professional experience. And the second year, a 6 months internship is a mandatory internship is just before finding a job.
And do you have a network of partner companies that are used to having students coming from ECE?
Yes, because school is very old school and very long period with we have got around 900 partners, corporate and professional partner, and they help to find internship, work experience, and they find propose or they offer a job. I think it will be the UK is very, very fast.
In Gérard, did you already have had the opportunity to have an internship at ECE, or are you looking for one?
Not yet.
Okay, it's coming in a few years. How is it going to work?
Yes, I'm planning on doing my internship next year, the 6-month internship.
So you still have time. Do you already know in what kind of companies, small companies, big companies, or are you still thinking about that?
I would prefer having a bigger company just because I think you learn more. There are more people, whereas small companies, it's a smaller team.
And maybe, Anna, you have a team dedicated to the professional world and professional aspects for your students, maybe training them to conduct interview and to know how to get into the professional world?
Yes, we do organize workshops on how to write a motivation letter and a CV. So yes, we accompany them in these kind of procedures.
And Gérard, after graduating, how does it go for your student? We're all lacking of engineering in France. I imagine that in the world there are also a lot of opportunities, so it's pretty good for them.
Yes, pretty good because so many companies want people graduating digital engineering, of course, and the student found a job in France because they can access companies in France and have a meeting with, for example, EDF Énergie Renouvelable, Sustainable Energy. We want foreign and international student because they are a company, worldwide company, and they need students coming from everywhere. And most told before that 19% of students find a job before graduation. And I think they are lucky, and we are very lucky as they find a job easily.
You were talking about the calendar, so it's still possible to apply. Till then, is it possible to apply to ECE?
Until end of June, you have the possibility to apply for ECE for September intake, yes.
And how long does it take from the first step to the last one, to the admission result? How long does it last?
So if you have all your documents, it takes 3 minutes to fill the form online. It's very easy indeed. And you can do that even if you didn't finish your current degree and you want to join directly in September. We have the possibility to have conditional admission. We'll need, of course, your full degree before you join us, but you can get anyway an approval accordingly. Once you're done with this, you have the interview, which can be organized within 7 to maximum 10 days after you applied, and you get the result within maximum a week after that. So you see, it can be 2 weeks to 3 weeks. So it's pretty fast.
But maybe the advice that we can give Anna is to begin as soon as possible, because it's important for the installation in France. We're going to have the Olympic Games during the summer. It's good, but we'll have a lot of people, so maybe it's better to be done before that.
Yes, we always suggest our students to start the procedures before, because sometimes moving to another country can be stressful. So to avoid all the stress, they need to plan ahead. Yes.
What would be, to conclude, in Gérard, your advice for the people watching us today who wish to come to France to study? What would you advise them to do?
I would say really ask your questions to people here at the school. They are happy to help you. They're happy to answer all of your questions. And I think it's a really good way to know more about the school, the program, so don't be afraid to ask questions.
And you, Gérard, you have the last word. What would be your last message, last advice for the people watching us today?
Just an advice is explore, ask questions, be curious, and be happy to learn at ECE school.
And that's the best advice that we can give. Thanks a lot, Gérard, Reus, Anna, Barbaric, Inchira, Jabir, and Maud Lebars for having been with us. Thanks to the four of you. Thank you. Thanks to you for having watched us. If you still have questions or if maybe you want to begin the application process, you can visit the website of ECE. See you soon on Campus France Live.